Athlete pay is often a quiet, behind-the-scenes affair, only seen and understood by shadowy figures whose names we barely ever hear. Negotiations happen in the privacy of offices and boardrooms. Handshakes are exchanged and contracts are signed without anyone ever hearing about it. But every so often, a disgruntled athlete comes out and makes the inner workings of an organization public knowledge. They air their grievances on podcasts, talk shows, and press conferences. They use the anger and attention of fans and pundits to their advantage, making their professional worth a matter for public comment. Sometimes this tactic works to their advantage. Sometimes it doesn't, but it always makes a splash. Jorge Masvidal is a legend of MMA, competing in various organizations since 2003 and in the UFC since 2013. He holds the current record for fastest knockout in UFC history at 5 seconds into round 1 against Ben Askren, as well as the symbolic BMF championship title. He has an overall professional record of 35-14 and an infamously rocky and deeply public relationship with the UFC when it comes to fighter pay. Over the years, Masvidal has used his public platforms to bring the unfairness of fighter pay to the attention of the MMA community at large, including the audience. Along the way, he's made a fortune in his career earnings.
And thank you for giving me the voice to be able to say some things and get them off my chest. Basically, it's not that I'm asking for more money. It's I'm asking for a bigger revenue share of what we bring in. You know, I got a lot of questions, and one of them is NBA, NHL, baseball. They make I think 50% of what the players with the organization of the players brings in. But football, I think it's 47%. Mine's is like 18%. So I have these questions in my mind, like why so much does to put the cage up cost so much to set up? What is it so much, you know? And I want these questions answered maybe. So I thought, what better place to come on here and ask for these questions, you know?
Like, share, and subscribe to the Ultimate Fighting Network as we find out how Jorge "Gamebred" Masvidal spends his millions. Jorge Masvidal has been fighting for the UFC since 2013. Prior to this, he fought with Bellator and Strikeforce. His Bellator earnings are not publicly available, but he started in Strikeforce with earnings of about $20,000 per fight, and by the time he was released, he was only making up to $45,000. When he signed with the UFC in 2013, Masvidal started at $30,000 to show, $30,000 to win, and netted the entire $60,000 for his first fight with Tim Means. His pay rose to $33,000 to show and $33,000 to win, and he took home the entire $66,000 from that fight against Michael Chiesa as well. His third fight against Rustam Khabilov was his first defeat in the UFC, but the purse was still generous. He took home $39,000 for showing up as well as a $50,000 Fight of the Night bonus. Masvidal's earnings would continue to steadily rise until his first six-figure purse in 2015. For his victory against Cesar Ferreira, he took home a whopping $162,000, which included a Performance of the Night bonus as well as his first $10,000 Reebok sponsorship payout. From then on, the money would never be the same. To date, Masvidal's biggest purse has been the $530,000 payout from his fight against Kamaru Usman in 2020. Even though Masvidal was defeated in that fight, he still took home $500,000 for showing up and $30,000 fight week incentive pay. Masvidal has had 6 fight night bonuses over the course of his UFC career at $50,000 each. He receives payouts from Reebok as a UFC sponsor, but is also personally sponsored by Vital Proteins, Recuerdo, with which he has his own brand of mezcal, and CBDMD. His total career earnings sit at just above $3.1 million, but sources online place his total net worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $6 million. So how does Jorge Masvidal spend his generous earnings? Masvidal is a pretty private person and keeps to himself when he's not gearing up for a fight. He claims to not watch much TV as a general rule and doesn't seem interested in expensive cars or technology. He has been seen in a black Versace robe, in a strange twist, the same that Conor McGregor wore, but doesn't appear to splash out on expensive clothing often. Masvidal came from a rough background and even spent a few years sleeping in his car, street fighting, and training in backyards. Life looks a little different for him now. He currently lives in a gorgeous $1.6 million house in his hometown of Miami, Florida. The mansion is spread out over 6,800 square feet on 2 acres. Outside, the house boasts a koi pond, swimming pool, and an outdoor tiki bar. The interior has luxurious marble floors, multiple bedrooms, a game room, a generous kitchen, and an indoor gym. Masvidal has thrown his support behind multiple charities, doubtless recognizing the needs of others in his own rough background. He's pledged generous support to fellow UFC fighter Dustin Poirier's charity, The Good Fight, and in 2019 he grappled with Anthony Pettis to raise money for a charity that gives gym memberships and training to troubled youth. Masvidal has also been known to volunteer for community service, including feeding the homeless with his management team. He cares very much for his hometown of Miami and all of the youth who look up to him as an inspiration. Jorge Masvidal has been very vocal about fighter pay, seeing it as his mission to make the issue public for himself, as well as for other fighters who feel they don't have the platform to speak. In bringing the issue to the attention of fans and news organizations, Masvidal has been a thorn in the side for UFC President Dana White, but has given the public a much better understanding of what's going on behind the scenes. This has clearly worked to his favor, as Masvidal's career earnings prove, but it's also given other fighters with less name recognition a way to negotiate their own contracts and made the issue apparent to the audience as well. Fans care about fighters and their well-being and want to see them treated fairly. Jorge Masvidal, as frustrating as he has been for the higher-ups at the UFC, has been part of the process to make change possible. From a rough start to a mansion in Miami, Jorge Masvidal has cemented his fortune in the UFC, but he's also laid the groundwork for the fortunes of many who will rise up after him, and it's likely that history will remember him for that.
You know, those moments suck, but it was like, I know I'm gonna be out of it. I know I'm gonna be out of here. Maybe I didn't get all the tools right now that I needed, or I didn't come from like a trust fund or something, but I knew I would get myself out of there. And I would envision it as I would lay in the car sleeping, like one day I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna open the fridge, it's gonna be filled with food, and I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want. And I made it happen.
What do you think about Jorge Masvidal? Comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching the Ultimate Fighting Network.